Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Scottsdale Living Podcast. I'm here today with amazing guests, our absolutely top premier Scottsdale's entertainment business, Hana Entertainment. They're brand new in town. And something that literally drew my eye was fire. Everybody loves fire. And I've seen some of their work recently. Absolutely outstanding. I have goosebumps thinking about it. So without further ado, I want to introduce my guests, Joseph Cancilla and Rose Wild. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. So we just recently met and I've been following some of your work. So I really wanted to have you on today so you can help share really what like the inspiration for your business is. And honestly, one of the best things about this podcast is it really brings business and our community gets to find out who is the best at something.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about your business. How did it start?
Well, our everything with our business started about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I actually had a marketing company in Ogden, and I was very laser focused on that. And this whole entertainment thing just kind of came out of left field. And we had started dancing with another group, and they kind of just up and left. They moved, and everybody that was still left in Utah was looking at me like, Joseph, what are you going to do about this? And I kept trying to tell them, no, I'm busy. But yeah, that's kind of how it all started. It fell into my lap, and I transitioned away from my marketing company to be doing entertainment full time, and it's just grown. We started out doing luau's, and now we do almost anything that you can imagine. I joke a lot that I'm the ringleader of the fire circus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I still love my cultural roots with doing Polynesian style entertainment, and that's what I've been known for almost my entire life. I've been a Samoan fire knife dancer for 26 years now.
Wow. Okay. So tell me about what that means, like in your culture. How does that start? Like, is it just like you're 2 years old and everybody's like, you watch this dance and everybody's kind of mimicking it? Like, what is it? What's the progress of learning that?
Pretty much. I think it's different for everybody, how they come into it, the cultural dancing. But for me, you're right. I was about 3 years old when I was on stage for the first time.
Wow.
Doing who knows what. I don't know why my mom and my auntie would put me on stage. But now I know why, because I put my kids on stage, and it doesn't matter what they do. They're the show stealers every single time.
It's in the genes.
Yeah. And everyone loves it, especially like old folks that just want to see the little kids dancing. And so it's fun. It's fun also being able to make it a family thing. But yeah, starting out that way, it was something that we just did every week. Auntie was our dance teacher. She had a huge background in dance in general, but also in Polynesian dance. And that's where we got our start. And that was everything but fire up until the time I was 12. And then she flew in a trainer from the islands to start working with me.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So it got serious quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I practiced with no fire from age 12 to age 15. Technically, my mom said I had to wait till I was 16 before I could light up on fire for the first time. But I don't think I listened. It was 15 when I started.
So you love fire?
I love fire. Yeah.
Loves fire.
It's very controlled and safe now. A very safe use of fire. When I was younger, I was kind of crazy. I've come up through all the burns and all the lessons and different things that I couldn't learn any other way except the hard way.
Wow. And what about for you, Rose? I saw a video of you guys at the Ferguson Company. They had an event that you guys ran the whole thing, right? And so I saw you holding 5 fireballs in your hands, looking like an absolute fire goddess. How the heck did that get started for you? I mean, it's absolutely enchanting to watch you move.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So I started out I did 17 years of ballet, and then I got into professional pole dancing, and I would travel and compete, which then led me into like the circus world, and I was teaching the circus and doing that whole thing, and got into different avenues with the circus, which one of them was fire. And basically that's it. Like, I just kind of pick something new and I learn it, and
What are your other avenues?
My other avenues?
Yeah, not just the fire. This girl's a jack of all trades. Like, she's good at everything she does.
So besides pole dancing. I like to do lyra and different, like any apparatus. I like to just jump on it. I just don't like silks.
Oh,
I don't.
okay.
It's not
They're
like
dangerous?
no. I just don't. Like
Not
vibe with them.
prefer.
They're not my thing.
People highly underestimate the amount of body work that goes into pole competition. But guarantee you put anybody up, stand up at a pole and try to have them just even hold their body weight up, and they'll be sore for days afterward. I had all my family over and I forgot that my pole was up in my living room, and all my aunts walk in and my mom. And then by the end of it, everybody's like, woohoo, what is this? But it's like a lot of body work and nobody really realizes it until they stand in front of one. And I think that one of the best things that's happened over the last 3 years is this kind of new recognition of the different ways people move. Because I think that like for the association of that sport to get into something that's incredibly competitive, it's like professional gymnastics.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, for sure.
beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful to watch someone who has mastered that skill. So that's really cool. So you don't like silks, but you can, what's the lyra you said?
Yeah, it's just like a hoop,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
there's all sorts of different apparatuses that if you kind of know, I feel like pole is a good base for all the apparatuses. Because if you like learn how to move your body and have the strength to do lots of pole moves, I feel like it transfers into really any apparatus, is what I've learned. So.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, so ballet for you. When did that start? Did you love
I was
it?
like
or were you
3.
like, I don't want to do this anymore?
No, that was my world. I loved ballet. That's like I homeschooled. I was like 3 hours ballet every day. Like that was
Wow.
my professional life. And I was going to go dance with different various professional ballet companies. But then, life happened and I got distracted and then I didn't dance professionally. Ballet wasn't meant for me.
Well, you can tell you have ballet when you move. Like everything you do looks insanely graceful, a turn. And you're like barefoot on grass. And it looks like you belong on a stage. So absolutely
Thank you.
profound. So you guys just moved out here from Utah 4 months ago. What has that experience been like for you? New business in Arizona, or just even your personal experience about moving here. What do you like about it?
I love Arizona. I mean, I've wanted to move out of Utah for a long time because that state just hasn't resonated with me for a long time. So just the fact that there are so many more people here and it's so much more diverse, it's kind of a melting pot in its own way. And besides the weather, I don't have to deal with cold anymore. And I feel
That's
like
a perk.
Yeah. And the opportunity here is just insane compared to where I was at. So.
Yeah, we started studying Arizona and Texas about a year ago. And we were trying to decide between Phoenix and Dallas.
Wow.
And
I think you
Phoenix,
picked right.
I think so too. Like Phoenix won and we've got here and I didn't expect much of a culture shock, but it's very different out here. The people are different. I don't really ever know what to expect around every corner. I love how art focused Phoenix is. That's
sure.
been something that is amazing. In Utah, there's a lot of pockets of art, but like all of Phoenix is so
like everywhere here,
art centered.
Like just in Arizona, and people like are so proud to be in Arizona.
Yeah,
Arizona flag everywhere.
Yeah, we do like it. I mean, you're right. It is a huge cultural melting pot. We're located in an amazing place. We have great weather, but besides that, like we have like this special connection with Chicago. There's tons of other big city people that end up moving here that want to retire here. And it actually, I think, used to be even more amazing because it was very affordable to live here. Like we had great pay and affordability in Arizona. And some areas of Arizona still have that, but they're more the smaller areas. And right now, we're seeing this massive boom in like Scottsdale. But one of the things that can bring is a lot of business. And people want very engaging entertainment. So, you go to a party and it's great, but if it doesn't have entertainment, was it really a party? You know what I mean? Like you want people walking away, talking about it, and so stoked that they can't help but tell all their friends about you. So tell me, what is the experience of hiring you and what do you target when you're like talking to someone? You're like, we got to blow this out of the water. What are the options?
I would say just right from the jump working with us is like our creation call that we have with our clients. It's like a discovery call. It's really us trying to figure out what exactly they're wanting. But our favorite thing to do is to just co-create with our clients with the vision that they have. Something that Rose says a lot is, what is it? If you give me a sentence, I'll give you a paragraph. No,
if you give me a paragraph, I'll give you a storybook.
Yeah, if you give me a paragraph, I'll give you a storybook. And she's just proven to be so versatile for such a long time with like storyline creation and a lot of the custom production that we do. But yeah, I'll listen to her on the phone with clients and they're giving her breadcrumbs and it turns into this immaculate masterpiece. And so we have a lot of fun doing that, even just from the very beginning with phone call number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times it's follow-up phone calls, like getting very specific clarifying questions, whether it comes to costuming or different things that we're wanting to really customize it to fit exactly what they're looking for. And then going above and beyond. That Ferguson showroom that you were talking about, we body taped a sushi model. That wasn't part of the deal.
Wow.
She didn't even know that sushi model was going to be showing up.
So
Wow.
And so, and I wouldn't ever do that really with most clients, but we got to know, her name's Nicole. She's fabulous. But we got to know her and what she wanted so well. I had zero doubts in my mind that wasn't going to hit the mark. Actually, it was like a 98%.
There was a plan
The
B.
2% I was a little
There's
freaked
always
out.
a plan B.
Yeah.
She was gorgeous. I thought, oh my gosh, this is like only something you would see on like Entourage, some like show about big Hollywood bigwigs, and that's here. That's here. We have this here. Like really, you would only find that in like a special kind of group of people. That was sheer entertainment. So you guys had not body paint on her. Was
No.
it body paint? How did you do that? Because she had this beautiful blue, like metallic looking,
Mhm.
almost like a bikini or like a belly dancer like outfit-ish on. So she had sex appeal, but she
Elegant.
wasn't naked
No.
Yeah.
It was very
by
elegant,
any means.
very high class.
It was elegant. And I was like, this thing, like if this is paint, like, and you guys are doing fire, like how? So tell us how. What's the secret? Or do you not want to give your secret away?
It's not really
It's not a secret.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
tell
just
me.
started to do this
A couple
quite
of years
a few
ago.
years ago. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I did body painting in the past and
Mhm.
I still love it. Like I'll use a human as a canvas any day of the week, but it's a lot more messy
Uh-huh.
and a lot more time consuming. That sushi model that we took to Ferguson, that took 4 hours to do that.
Wow.
And I think if it would have been body paint, it probably would have taken quite a bit longer and it would have just been everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
And the
no.
paint flakes off. And so this is a very clean way to decorate a body and also make sure that the body is fully covered. And a lot of times, some of the models or performers that we work with, they'll say how clothed they feel when they're wearing just full tape.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I was
going
like
from-
looking for gaps. I was like, can I see anything?
You won't
A little
find any.
bit.
I was
Not
like,
much.
I didn't on the videos. I was like, wow, like this is amazing. Then like, yeah, it's a sushi model. Like it was just so out of this world that I was seeing. Like, I know those people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
It was crazy.
Well, and you mentioned the belly dancing type of outfit.
Yes.
She turned into a fire belly dancer at the end of the night.
Oh, wow.
And she jumped into our large show. And I personally wanted to show off the artwork. I wanted to showcase this
Mhm.
amazing piece that we did and get as much runway out of it as we could. But it just happens to be that she's a belly dancer and an amazing belly dancer at that.
Wow.
And she got just tons of good feedback from the client and from all of the guests that were there. And then I guess in addition to that, like we were collaborating with 3 local break dancers and an electric harpist.
What?
And yeah, and the sushi chef. I had to run it by him, of course, before we showed up.
Yeah.
But I went and took a lot of vendors that the client had already handled, and I said, give them all to me. And so I just started having all these conversations like, hey, you guys want to collab? We want to do this really cool video. This is what we're cooking up. We want to do collaboration posts online. Everybody was really receptive to it and really open to it. And it turned out
Mhm.
better than we could have even imagined.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question. Your videos came out amazing. Did you guys do those yourself?
No,
Or did you have somebody do them?
no, we've
We
got
hired somebody.
photo and video guys that follow us around pretty
Oh, they
regularly.
were amazing. Like all of your footage from that event was like top notch. The angles, all the slow-mo stuff. I wish I
Mhm.
could have heard the harp.
hmm
Electric harpist?
Technically, like the harp is in the video. If you like listen for
If
it,
you listen
that's
close.
the actual.
Track?
Mhm.
It's
Oh
her
my
playing.
gosh. Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
rewatch it.
It's really
And she
good.
wasn't even supposed to be part of the show. She
Oh,
was supposed to
man.
be in a corner of the showroom, just kind of owning that entire section and creating this melodic vibe for the people that were there. But no, when I was talking to her on the phone, she said, wait, I have a harness and I have a smaller harp and I can be
Mhm.
mobile and it's wireless. I'm like,
Done.
yeah. And so
Wow.
when we did our activation inside, it was on top of a kitchen island, a countertop, because it's a kitchen showroom and a bathroom showroom. And so the electric harpist took off her heels and she climbed up on the countertop and she's barefoot up there
Wow.
playing the harp and jamming out. And we're on the other side of the counter
Mhm.
doing acrobatics and fire. And
Yeah, that was super fun.
It was
and
amazing.
Then we ended up just lighting the audience on fire because we use fire bubbles, and it becomes like this immersive experience. And we have all these fire dancers and their body tape and their bare feet and just like this grunge look, just in this really
Perfect.
high class
Mhm.
showroom. But that's what she wanted, and that's why a lot of people like coming to us, because they like our edginess and they like just something out of this world, like you
The
said.
sexiest sinks in Scottsdale. Like,
Yes.
you got it. You're
Yes.
on it. Way to go,
Yes.
Ferguson.
Yes.
No, that's really cool. And I think that like we all kind of have an idea of like what sells and what our brains think is like fully entertaining. But Rose, you had brought up before the 5 sensory experience. Am I saying that right? I want you to kind of like delve into what that means, because you've kind of touched on some things. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, that must be what she's talking about. But do you want to go into that a little bit?
Sure. So, one of the things that we do when somebody is wanting, I mean, just with our shows that we host ourselves, we like to have all 5 senses incorporated. So a lot of the times we'll have like a VIP hour. And to give an example, with the Haunted Circus that we hosted, we had a taste sense, which was Buzz Buds, and it's like a flower that people chew
yeah.
up, and it inverts your flavor
You heard of
type
those?
Yeah,
thing.
I've had them. My friend Colby gets them and makes these drinks, and we all
Mhm.
have buzz
Yeah.
buttons, and it like
Yeah.
almost tingles and numbs
Uh-huh.
your tongue. And then we'll have this
Inverts it.
drink. It inverts it. That's what it
inverts
does.
the flavoring.
It's beautiful because by the end of your drink, it feels very different. You could chew
Mhm.
another one, but yeah, they're funny little flowers.
Yeah.
And they're
We had-
flowers.
We
Uh-huh.
had gummy sour worms
Okay.
that people would eat after they tried the BuzzBud. And so it goes just from this pretty basic tingling experience to like it's
Like sour to sweet and sweet
yeah,
to
it
sour
tastes
type
sweet
thing.
and there's no hint of
Wow.
sourness that you would expect. Or lemons. We had lemons cut up in wedges on the platter and people were expecting it to taste like a lemon, but it was really sweet.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then we have a touch sense. So we put like this fur on the countertop so people could like feel different things around the venue. And then we had a snake charmer so people could hold snakes. We also had a henna vendor so people could get henna. What else? And then the scents we covered, there was different scents as you would walk in.
Hmm. Like you're
to the
walking
building.
through a
Mhm.
scent experience, like one
Yes.
scent to another to
Yeah.
another.
Didn't we have
Mm.
3 zones in the venue?
One was like apple cinnamon, and the other was I don't remember.
You had
those
like
candles were-
carnival scents like
Uh-huh.
buttered popcorn.
Yeah.
Caramel.
Yeah, there was like a butter
Caramel, yeah.
popcorn one for sure. And then we had ambient fire dancers and stilt walkers. And we were able to get pretty close to the audience. We like to get as close as we can with the fire to the audience.
That's cool.
It's fun.
The Utah Fire
And it's
Marshal
safe.
doesn't like that very
I
much.
know.
Really?
No. But they always are going
But
to
here they don't care.
err
so it's
on
great.
the safe side.
Burn them all! Woohoo!
What else? What sense did I miss?
Is there a cotton candy?
Touch.
Touch.
Oh.
Well, touch was the snake charmer and
Oh, you had a
whole.
snake charmer
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
with like a boa?
With like, yeah,
Yeah.
she
Was
had
it
one or
wasn't
two
you?
snakes.
Do you do snakes?
No, I do
Girl.
love snakes, but no. Yeah, so people could just hold the snakes and. But what else am I missing? There's
The
sight.
Sixth Sense.
Oh, The Sixth Sense. Yeah, that one was Human Connection. And it kind of brought the whole event for a full circle with the storyline to show at the end with our inner demons. So everybody, the performers resembled fire demons. And so they would go around and whisper in like the audience's ear, like, this is the inner demon that I overcame this year. And then they would like,
It was
go.
incredible. So we wanted to build connection
Yeah.
between the audience and the performers. And what better way to do that than to share something really vulnerable?
And it was just a
So-
very vulnerable show in general. But that's
Mhm.
what we kind of like to do because we like to leave a bigger impact with our shows than just entertainment.
Mhm.
So
I am processing that.
It was amazing. Rose actually wrote the storyline, and it was
Oh.
about a 1.5 year period of my life where I was really struggling hard. I had come out of a relationship and was having major work shifts in my life, and it got pretty dark for me. And so this whole story,
should I explain what that was? Like the storyline a little bit?
sure, if you want to get into that a little bit.
Yeah, I'll paint a tiny little picture.
I already got real
for y'all.
vulnerable in front of 230 people. Let's up it to like, what, 10,000?
Yeah. So basically, it started off with the Grim Reaper, and he resembled accountability. And then, like, accountability, he was struck down by accountability and then was brought into this hell underworld where all these other fire demons have accepted their own inner demons. And so it went through all of these levels of the demons that he was overcoming within himself. And then by the end, he, like, kind of, it was like an embrace of his true self. And we incorporated the haka into a fire circus show, which is the haka is a Polynesian, not a slap dance, but it's like a war dance, right?
It's from the Maori people from New Zealand. And,
Yeah.
like you see it before rugby games.
Okay.
They're
Got
yelling
it.
and
Yeah.
slapping their legs. And
Okay.
So, but that was the curveball that we threw everybody, because who's going to expect this Polynesian culture infused into the middle of this fire circus show?
Mhm.
And I think if
And very
anyone,
personal for you.
Yeah.
it was very, And
with
if I'm
this
going to march
personal story.
into hell and battle my inner demons, like the Maori warrior inside of me is going to come out and just wreak havoc.
So, yeah, turned out really good.
It was fun. It was,
Wow.
I got devil horns. We had our makeup artists to come in.
He
our
slowly was turning more
artists.
and more into a demon, like as the show went on.
Mhm.
Wow. So the inspiration of each event that you really put on is truly unique.
Mhm.
You're not there to like recreate something. You
Yeah.
really, even though that sounds like it was incredibly powerful, I wish I could have seen it. You know, that uniqueness is based on your client.
Mhm.
So you mentioned that you had gone through this really deep, very personal, what do you call that? Thinking of the word and I just blanked.
Phase of life?
Hey, yeah.
I mean,
What's the word? Rich?
Transformation.
Like inner challenge, but I need a better word for that.
rock bottom?
I don't know. I don't want to say you hit rock bottom.
Because it was
I'm
a
going to
rock
say
bottom.
you hit more than turbulence. Okay.
Yeah.
So Joseph, obviously that event was like really unique for you and reflected how Rose was able to kind of interpret this massive inner battle that you were facing. And you guys are clearly inspired by the emotion of people.
Mhm.
And that is being expressed through not just the event, but like the actual movements that you're making.
Mhm.
Right? Like if somebody, how does that inspire you? How do you move better? How do you plan better around emotion with someone?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yes.
I feel like with my background in dance, I grew up moving my body in a way that the choreographer was like, be like honey, move like this, invoke this emotion in me right now. And so I was kind of trained how to do that. So I think, how do I explain how that is done though? That's hard.
Are you just feeling it and it comes out like some people sing?
Yeah.
Like some people are humming a tune in their head and it's beautiful.
Mhm.
And instead of humming and singing, you're moving.
Yeah, but it's also with the music that you use. It's all like everything together.
Even that haunted
is-
circus show, like we created a specific playlist,
Mhm.
and it was in a local bar in Salt Lake City. but none of this music was anything you would expect walking into a bar. And the tone of the music was a lot about like demons, or it was like there was a very dark vibe with the music, and even like some
But it was
rock
very
songs.
powerful.
Yeah, it
Lots
was
of power.
very powerful playlist. People were coming up to me afterwards saying, "Where did this music come from? Do you have a playlist? Can I have it?" So I text them the Spotify link.
Wow, that's amazing. So you both have this like dance history. You've come together in the world of like, you have an entertainment business, but really you're using it to send like an emotional message to people about like how they can express themselves or express their business or express, some ability for people to get together and bond over something like personal emotional turmoil or the demons that we fight inside. I can't get past that one. Because like there is not a person in the world that does not have one of those.
Exactly.
Or 17.
Yep.
Right.
And we're all just busy, like, instead of being accountable for them, which helps us, be better to the rest of society, we're always just like stuffing them down.
Right.
Like, no, nobody can see this.
Yep.
So it could be in the form of anything, like absolutely anything. So I just think that that's such a unique thing about your business is that you say, oh, we're an entertainment business, but you're really a communication business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are a community business.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm already thinking of like all the ways that I want to be able to incorporate you into things because we do a lot of events and I just would love to make them way more powerful.
Yeah.
I'd love to make them so much more meaningful. Like we host an annual women's event. I know you guys heard me mention the Pamper and Play for women. We had a brunch and one of the things that we did was we went around and talked about things that were challenging for us personally as women, like today or last year or whatever. And women in the first 10 people didn't want to speak up. And by the last part, I mean, they're like pouring their heart out. And the things that were written down to me about how powerful that was for them, just being able to share without being put on the spot, but just invited. Like you have a platform to say that. You have a platform to move that way. You're invited to speak so someone else can express your secret. It's not your words and then somebody sees it, but it's just opening it to like, how is this going to be received?
Exactly.
Which is like the whole thing about how people feel so incredibly self-conscious about sharing.
Yeah, but it's because they feel like they're going to be judged. So if you create a space that's actually safe, no matter what they have going on, even if it is an awful thing, you're not going to judge them.
So something that you mentioned before was you do a couple of these events a year because there's so much work to put on. I know it's massive work and mine are all like, hey, we've got a couple minutes or like a couple months. Let's throw all this stuff together. Who do we have? And so you guys do these big events twice a year, but what is unique about those? Sounds like you have also partnered with like fundraiser opportunities, but not just for that, for like missions that you really stand for. Do you want to speak about any of those? Maybe some that really made a difference for you?
Well, so I guess where it all started, I think one of the first fundraisers that we did, because we used to have a physical dance studio location.
In Utah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Up until actually we shut it down. So COVID 2020 hit around March time, right? We shut the studio down in January.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Good timing.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And it wasn't
Thank goodness.
anything to do with COVID. It was everything to do with like I was serving two masters. Like we had dance moms and corporate clients, and it was just back and forth constantly. So we decided dance studio life was not really what I was passionate about, and it was 100% entertainment. But yeah, we used to, I guess, I don't know, sponsor is the right word, but donate, fundraise for a local Polynesian academy that is in West Valley, Utah. And that's kind of where it all started. And once I realized how well that was received with the people that we were advertising to, marketing to, it's almost every single event that we've hosted up until now, we've always wanted to do something where it kind of does pull at those heartstrings. Like, why can we not be real with each other and with everybody in our circles about the real struggles that people are they don't talk about? So that was a big deal. So using Haunted Circus as an example, we brought in the Live On Utah Foundation, and that's I guess they run the governor's fund for suicide awareness for all of Utah.
Wow.
So when we're doing shows and hosting shows in Utah, it's definitely going to be a local cause in Utah. Now that we're in Arizona and we're starting to look at different venues and different larger productions that we can host, we want to
partner with
we
charitable
want to open it up
organizations.
to different local organizations. I don't have a lot of interest in like big national organizations or even worldwide organizations. Like they already have a really good foothold and tons of support, but it's the local causes that we get real passionate about. And again, if we're going to host something local in Arizona, it's going to be a local Arizona cause that we want to make a difference with.
We really resonate with that. I mean, that's almost all of our events have somebody that is the beneficiary of whatever our percentage of our proceeds are.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have met these people in the community. You know, we had Hannah and Chuck Keels, and they are cancer coaches. And they both are they were cancer survivors, and Hannah ended up passing away last year. And like the community was devastated, you know, but they're literally speaking the life experience that they have. And I think that people do resonate with, you know, they want to pick stuff that touched them. Like they want to donate money to things that inspire them or have hurt them or they've grown from. So, you know, like I love women's and children's organizations. I love that you you were able to sponsor something for suicide awareness. You know, in Arizona, human trafficking is massive. And so there are a lot of, you know, the Care Org Gala is coming up and I went to it last year. It was massive. It was their first massive event. They had 500 people there. And it was mind blown at the amount of people that had the notion to do something about that. Like even to show up for the event and pay for that ticket. Like, how do you get to know more? Sometimes it's through something like that, even just sponsoring an event to highlight it. But yeah, I applaud you guys for doing that. And if you need help finding other charitable organizations, you know, or, you know, you're hosting an event and you're like, who would be best for this? I'd love to help try to connect you, or even I'm sure people might want to get a hold of you anyway after this for that purpose. So I hope it brings you something awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Is there anything else about your business that you're like, we got to share this with people? This is something that like our business just evokes in us, and anything else you want to share?
I feel like we kind of
hit it all.
We hit pretty good amount of all of it. I would maybe touch more on the experiences side of things. Creating a full service experience, like an immersive experience for somebody, like we talked about earlier. Like it's got to hit all the senses. But one thing that I realized is that, like, what do people enjoy the most? Like, what do they love? And it's things that they have never experienced before. Sensations, new sensations. Whether it's a visual sensation or you're able to smell something that you've just never smelt before, or a combination of things, or tactile experience. Like people want stuff that they've never experienced, never seen, never been through before. And that's what we hit on as much as possible because we want it to be unique. I think what's given me kind of my own edge in the entertainment world is being a professional marketer. Marketers tell stories. Entertainers tell stories. Once I connected the dots and I put those two things together, it's really been able to help me, not just our marketing, but when I pick up the microphone to MC an event. I think you said it a minute ago about kind of taking things as it comes and not really trying to craft exactly what the experience is going to be before the show starts, but kind of on the fly. There's been many times where I've been able to just kind of tweak the show midway, taking out this dance number and asking my sister, hey, can you put in this number that you normally do for weddings? And I know we're at this college in Montana right now, but this is going to hit home hard. But it's because I was standing on the sidelines when someone else was performing, and I overheard audience members talking about one of the students at that college that had passed away. So that number was more than perfect and more than, I'm getting chills now thinking about that. But we had about 70% of that room in tears after she got done on stage. So that's the kind of stuff that I get really excited about. I know that there's a lot of entertainment companies out there that procure talent, and they'll send talent and they kind of hope for the best. Like, hey, enjoy, like whatever it's going to be. But for us, whether it's a small production or a large production, we want there to be that custom touch. That's really hard for me to duplicate.
Yeah.
Like, but between Rose and I, like we've done a really good job at being able to have that really personalized touch with our clients, whether it is an adults only show or whether it is family friendly and it's geared toward kids.
Mhm.
I'm not going to talk about it in detail at all, but she's wrote a story. It took her, I think, a month and a half to write this story. And it's for kids. And that's going to be one of our next productions that we host
Wow.
here in Arizona. We wanted to do it in April, but it's not enough time now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so we've done our best to be able to find the right venues and performers and all the different pieces of the puzzle since we've been out here. But that's
A massive project.
going to be a
Yeah.
good one. So if anyone has any ideas of fire-friendly venues, that's
That have really good production.
yeah. If they got some already like some AV and some production
Places to
built into
rig.
the venue, then
Okay.
that would be really helpful for us for what we're looking for.
Very cool.
So
So emotion, experience, you've married to two together to
Mhm.
kind of express things for people. Tell me, how do people get a hold of you? And something we didn't talk about. You guys have done these big event shows. What about on the smaller side of events? What is your other go-to? Like Arizona is literally a bachelorette mecca. So like, what do other people ask you for as far as events go?
we could talk about that a little bit more. We actually recently just
yeah.
launched Rose Wild Productions,
Yeah. It's,
and that's kind of the sister company to Hana Entertainment. I've kind of set the stopping point for Hana Entertainment at PG-13.
Okay.
I want Hana to always be known as a family-friendly brand, and that's
Uh-huh.
what people can count on.
Mhm.
But when it gets real spicy, I hand it over to Rose.
yeah.
Rose Wild.
Basically my tagline is like take a walk on the wild side type thing.
Love.
So I bring that to all bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, and anybody that wants a more risque themed event
Mhm.
and even risque like immersive experiences.
Wow.
That's kind of
Okay,
Rose
love
Wild
it.
Productions.
So we'll be on the lookout for more from Rose Wild Productions.
Yes.
Keeping it spicy, one event at a time.
Yep. That should be your new tagline.
Yeah,
Compliments
love
of
it.
Amber.
Take a walk on the wild side. Okay, you guys, it's been a massive pleasure to have you on. You're really exciting to talk to and definitely to watch online. So how do people get a hold of you? How do they follow you? Where do they go?
Instagram is where we're most active.
Mhm.
And our
As far as social
websites,
media goes,
yeah.
it's definitely Instagram. And the tag on Instagram is Hana Around the World, or our own personal Instagram. You can find it by my name, Joseph Kinsella, or Rose Wild Official.
It's
Um,
the _ Joseph _ Kinsella. And
If you
Rose
wanna
Wild
get
Official.
Lots of
specific.
underscores. Go to Hana Around the World, HANA.
Yeah. And our
Hana.
website is hanaentertainment.com. And that's Hana only has one N, HANA.
Yep.
HANA. Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. And that has been today's episode of the Scottsdale Living Podcast. Catch you next time.